Welcome to the Secret to Success podcast. My entire goal with this podcast is to give you value. That is it. I am not interested in you buying from me. If you want to, you can, but that is not the goal here. I do want you to go to the show notes for people that I interview because I do want you to buy from them or at least follow them. But I'm telling you, I am on a mission to create 100,000 millionaires. This podcast is part of that. Do yourself a favor and get everything that you deserve. Period. Point blank. I want you to get that in this podcast, whether it be keynotes for me or interviews, millionaires, billionaires. It doesn't matter because we can't teach you anything you don't already know. You just forgot because the world made you forget. I love you. You got this. You're going to get this. This is your moment. This is you. Take notes. Listen to me on your commute. I don't care what you do. But this is yours. I do this for you. Like, if you're on a different platform, share it. Subscribe to it. Share this because there's not many people out here doing this here. Got this. All right, I have 3 things for you. I really want to help you. You do these 3 things and you don't have to worry about having money. The money will take care of itself. I'm going to explain these 3 things to you, but I'm going to give them to you up front. Number 1, solve a problem. Number 2, distract people from their problems. Number 3, be excellent. Okay? Those are the 3 things. I'm giving it to you up front. So if you want to check out this video, you're more than welcome to do so now. You have what you need to move forward inside of a healthy, happy life. Do these 3 things and you will never have to worry about money. Okay? No, I'm giving it to you up front. Number 1, what did I say? Oh, solve a problem. Number 2, distract people from their problems. Or number 3, and number 3, be excellent. Now, before I explain those 3 things in detail, why don't you do me a favor, like and share this video, because I'm going to especially share, and then drop me some comments so I can know how you feel, so I can give you better content, more valuable content. But do me a favor, share it, because I'm getting ready to be a great blessing for people. This is free, no charge. You want to definitely extend this opportunity for other people to be successful. Again, I'll repeat that one more time for you, and then hopefully allow you to move forward in excellence and a spirit of great hope and joy. Number 1, there's 3 things you need to never have to worry about money again. Is to solve a problem. Number 2, which is solve a problem or solve a problem and. It just depends on you. Number 2, distract people from their problems. And then number 3, you have no option, is to be excellent. Number 3, you don't have an option in. 1 and 2, you can do either or both and. But number 3, you do not have an option. Number 3 is not optional. You cannot get around it any other way. You're not allowed to. Do not try to. And don't leave this video claiming that I told you that number 3 is an option. It is not an option. If you got it this far in the video, write down in the comments for me. I want to see your comments. Write down in the comments for me, the market rewards excellence. Period. Point blank. That's not changing. The market rewards excellence. Okay? Remember that. Because that's not changing. That's not going anywhere. The market rewards excellence. So find yourself there in a good and happy place. Number 1, you need to solve people's problems. Okay? Now, remember I said this is either a both and or either or however you want to slice that pie. But you must solve people's problems. Now, let me give you some products that solve people's problems. Band-Aids. Now, please know that the word Band-Aid is not the actual name of the product. There is just a company, Band-Aid, that dominates that market and allows you to think that every Band-Aid is a Band-Aid, as if there's only one brand. It's not, okay? It's not. Solving a problem. Vicks Vapor Rub solves a problem. You can't breathe. You're drowning in your own mucus. Stuffed up. You can't do anything about it. Vicks Vapor Rub, remember your mom puts it on your upper lip or your chest, and all of a sudden you can breathe again. Vicks Vapor Rub is so good at what they do that you forget that Vicks Vapor Rub is not the name of the actual product. Vicks just does it so well. It's not that their formula is the greatest. It's that their marketing back in the 80s and 90s tied their formula tied their marketing, their narrative into your mother's healing. Okay? When I just told y'all Vicks Vapor Rub, just about all of you thought about your mom caring for you with chicken noodle soup, right? It's crazy. So I'll repeat those two things. Well, I'll repeat the full three things, then repeat the two things that I just said. 3 things you need to do should you want to never worry about money again. Those 3 things are, number 1, solve a problem. And that's what I was just talking about. Number 2, distract people from their problem. And then number 3, be excellent. Number 3, you don't have an option over. You can do 1, or you can do 2, or you can do both 1 and 2. But if you choose 1, you still must do 3. If you choose 2, you still must do 3. You can do 3, but if you don't do 1 or 2, you're just not going to make it, okay? The market rewards excellence. Now, what I was just talking about in 1 and 2, I was giving you 2 examples of people solving problems, and I was giving you examples of companies that have solved these problems so well that you don't even realize that that's not the name of the product. Like Band-Aid. That's not the name of the product. You say, give me a Band-Aid, but that is not the name of the adhesive covering that stops you from bleeding. That's just the company Band-Aid that makes that right for you, okay? Vicks Vapor Rub. To be honest with you, I don't think I've ever bought any other Vapor Rub. I don't think I have. Because Vicks has tied their narrative into every time you think about Vicks and Vapor Rub, you think about your mom healing you, or what? You think about your chicken noodle soup that you had with it or something like that, right? You think about all those things that have accompanied you and the greatness of your healing and your health. What else solves a problem? Tylenol solves a problem. Now, acetaminophen is the actual product. The brand would be Tylenol. According to the Federal Drug Administration, the dosage and the formula of acetaminophen and Tylenol must be the same. It can't have, like, Tylenol can't be better than acetaminophen, can't be better than the Walgreens version. They must be the same, but the branding on acetaminophen has different. The branding makes that so powerful, but that's a different video for a different time. Tylenol obviously solves the problem of inflammation. It's an anti-inflammatory medicine, and it is also a pain reliever. Okay, it's not the best pain reliever in the world. It's not the best anti-inflammatory, but it does solve a problem, and since it solves a problem, there's room for that in the market. Okay, I'm hoping this makes sense to you. What else? What else would make sense to you? Solving a problem. Let's think of some modern things that solve a problem. The iPhone or the Galaxy. Okay, 2 smartphones. And 2 competitors, but it doesn't matter. Now, these are mostly Western world competitors, because in the Eastern world, Apple doesn't have, neither Apple or Samsung will, but Apple doesn't really have a hold on China the way they want. And China is the biggest emerging market in the Eastern world. I could think next would be India, but these are fantastic. As a matter of fact, the number one internet market in the world is the entire Asia Pacific, specifically India and China. China probably being the biggest. It's just crazy what's happening over there in Asia Pacific. If you're going to do business, go to Asia Pacific. I promise you, find a way to get there, solve a problem, distract people from their problems, and be excellent, and you will find a lot of money in Asia Pacific. Asia, if you don't know what Asia Pacific is, think of east side of the world, Asia territory, Bangladesh, India, China, Japan, all that region over there. Philippines, that whole thing. Bangladesh, small country, has 1.2 billion people. China has 1.7 billion people. There's a social app in China that everyone uses. It's called WeChat. If you don't know that, 1.2 billion people have WeChat. It's nearly government sanctioned. Why? Because that's how they do most of their commerce, over WeChat. So it's not just commerce, being money exchange. I have to explain everything to everyone in the audience. I know some of you got that, but some of you didn't. 1.2 billion people using WeChat right now. Last time I checked, last month. And yeah, so if you're doing anything in Asia Pacific, or China specifically, if you're doing anything in China specifically, you definitely want to make sure that you're solving a problem on WeChat or something like that. That would be very profitable for you. Or distracting people. I haven't gotten to the distraction yet. What else solves a problem? Oh, let me explain how Samsung Galaxy, or any smartphone, just trying to give you the two competitors to be fair to everyone. Let me explain to you how how both of them would solve problems. They would solve a problem because you need communication, right? But you also need to walk around with a computer because you live in the 21st century, yes? You still live in the 21st century. It's still real out here. That's not changing anytime soon, right? You need a computer that you don't have to lug around and have a bunch of heavy stuff with. You get the point. So that'll work for you. That solves that problem. Of course, the smartphone is 40 different devices in one. We used to remember carrying around a Walkman. I was watching I love this show. It's one of my favorite. Actually, it's probably my favorite television show. I don't watch much TV, but there are some shows I just really love. One of them is called Fringe. It's off now. I think it went off in 2013, but I've been rewatching it. I just really love the show. And somewhere in season 2, so that would have been, I think the show came out in 2008. So what's that? Or 2010, maybe. Anyway, this episode would have been 2010 when they played, and the dude literally put out a portable Walkman, and I was astounded that, literally a disc player that was I can't even. It's crazy, and I was like, wow, that was just 9 years ago, and the guy put out a Walkman. Yeah, technology has changed that much in 9 years, but VCR, DVR, radio, tape recorder, voice recorder. Remember you had your big CD booklet, like you wasn't nothing. If you didn't have a big CD booklet, and you can little papers that way, not papers, a little plastic that way with all the individual stuff, you wasn't nothing. We couldn't mess with you if you didn't have a big CD booklet with, Avril Lavigne and Tupac in it or something like that. Solves all those problems. That's what the smartphone does, solve those problems. So I think you get the point. Do something that solves a problem. Some modern people, if you want to be a personal brand, some modern people that solve problems. Oprah solved problems for 25 years on cable television. Ellen DeGeneres now solves problems. How do they solve problems? You can, let's face it. I don't mean disrespect any organization, but you get a lot of spirituality in church, both from Ellen and Oprah, right? And so it solves that problem of higher awareness, and you can't get it anywhere else in your circle, but you can watch them and improve your life. They solve that problem. What more personal brands that would solve a problem? If you're familiar with Grant Cardone, if not, then get familiar with Grant Cardone's probably the number one salesperson in the whole world. He solves a problem. He teaches people how to sell, invest in real estate, etc. Let's see who else. Gary Vaynerchuk. He's probably the number one marketer in the world. Solves a problem by giving away free marketing and stuff. Who else? Personal brand. Les Brown solves a problem. He gets you out of your funk. E.T., the world's number one, at this moment, number one motivational speaker. He solves a problem. He doesn't just get you out your funk. He fires you up, makes you want to run through a wall. All that stuff, right? That's people who solve problems. Now, let's talk about distract. Remember, let me repeat so you can hold this in cohesion, because I want you to watch this later and, use this for whatever you need to use it for. These three things are solve a problem, distract people from their problems, and then be excellent, okay? 1, solve a problem. 2, distract people from the problems. 3, be excellent. A great company that distracts you from your problems is Netflix, okay? Netflix is not necessarily... Yes, someone said me. Yes, I solve problems. Thank you very much. I'm trying to do that right now. Netflix isn't necessarily adding value to your life by solving your problem. Netflix does something even cooler, lets you forget for 90 minutes that you got problems. Okay? You can binge watch. You can binge watch Netflix for a whole weekend and just forget the fact that Monday you got to go back to a job you don't like. Netflix is very good at that. Netflix is extremely good at that. Another thing that solves problems. Now, this is a bit of a rough around the edges, maybe a bit vulgar answer, but bars. They solve problems. People are depressed or just bored and want to drink and have fun, right? Escape themselves. That is distracting you from your problems. Let's see, what else distracts you from your problems? The internet. There's lots of things. YouTube doesn't necessarily solve your problem, but it does distract you from your problems. So you get the point. You're either going to solve problems or just completely distract people from problems. Now, there are companies that do both 1 and 2, solve and distract. Amazon is a good example of this. I can give many examples, but Amazon is probably the number one. Actually, Amazon and Google are tied for number one, like Yale and Princeton. Amazon and Google both solve your problem and distract you from having problems. I'll give you some examples. You can't even browse the internet without running into a Google product. It's almost impossible. Whether you use Google itself, it's actually, let me rephrase that. I'm sorry. You can't browse the internet without running into an Alphabet product, because Google is now owned by Alphabet. Google just have a parent company called Alphabet, and they didn't get bought out or nothing. They just have so many products. Google has, 42 different free products on the internet. Between Android, that's a Google product. Google Maps, that's a good product. Someone said Facebook. Facebook is one heck of a distraction, isn't it? Android is Google product, Google Maps, Google, even your realtor, like you go buy a house, they're using Google Maps. Google Chrome. I think Google has 5 products with 1 billion users. One of them used to be, what was the Google social media, Google Plus. I think that just closed down last year. I know it's closed down, but I think it was like October last year, September. Android has 1 billion users. Google Chrome has 1 billion users. Google Maps has 1 billion users. I think Google Voice has 1 billion users, right? YouTube is a Google product that has 1 billion users. all this stuff, right? It's hard for you to browse the internet without running into a Google product. Even if you watch a video, more than likely that video has been uploaded on YouTube to embed on said website or something like that. Social media does distract you, period. Yes, it can also be a help, but it is a distraction for most people. So Amazon does that, Google does that very well, being both 1 and 2. Amazon does it very well because Amazon now has Prime TV, has all sorts of services. So they do a very good job distracting you and keeping you entertained. Very good job of that. But let's face it, if you're like me, I'm a millennial, so I fall into this category, but 98% of my shopping is online. I think the only thing I buy out stores are baby diapers. I don't know. Milk. Toilet paper. Toothpaste. Actually, nope. Nope. I don't even buy toothpaste in the store. I have a vegan toothpaste company that I use, and I buy that, I think they're in the Bronx or Brooklyn, online. So I don't even do that. I buy 24 cases at a time. Wine. I do buy wine in the store. Ice. I buy ice in the store. I buy that. Other than that, I probably don't use the store for anything. I just don't use the store for anything. I buy everything else online. Clothes, everything. It's quite useful. And let's not forget the beautiful... If you got this far in the video, I just need you to agree with me. Don't disagree with me. Disagree with me here. Amazon Prime is a beautiful invention of mankind. 2-day free shipping is from the Lord. It is awesome. So there you go. 1 and 2. Now, 3 is the most important. You don't do 1, you don't do 2 without 3. Period. You can do both 1 and 2, but you must have 3. The market rewards excellence. Let me say this here because it doesn't take me long to explain this. I don't care if you're 75. If you're excellent at what you do, you will be rich. The market rewards excellence. The market doesn't care if you're 75 and no one would employ you. I don't care if you're black in a racist society, brown, Mexican, Indian, purple. I don't care if you're an alien, and I don't mean an illegal alien. I mean literally an extra outer space dude, okay? E.T. phone home, extraterrestrial, right? I don't care. Doesn't matter. If you're excellent, if your product is excellent, if you over-deliver, if you have great customer service, if you're excellent, the market will reward you. Doesn't matter. I don't care if you don't like the product. There are the NRA, which, like National Rifle Association, is a business, and doesn't matter where you stand on the abolition of guns, or prohibition, of assault weapons. And I'm not here to incite you on that argument, although that's a very emotionally charged subject. I will tell you, they operate excellently. They do what they do well. It doesn't matter. And my point with that is saying, even if you vehemently disagree with the product, doesn't matter. They operate excellently, and they're in business. I give you another example. You may not like Barack Obama. He operated excellently. You may not like Donald Trump. Operates excellently. You may not like Hillary Clinton. She operates excellently. You don't have to agree with their excellence. They just do things better than other people that do it like them, and therefore they have a market. And that's it. Now those last 3 examples, Obama, Trump, Hillary Clinton, there's going to be some division there. But my point there was not, I was trying to show you that even if you disagree with them, if you can argue with me how terrible they are, doesn't stop that they're excellent at what they do. That's how you get it. Even if you disagree, excellence gets rewarded. Even if it's excellently inciting crowds into rage, excellence still gets rewarded. Good or bad, excellence still gets rewarded. Those are your three things. Let me just say one more thing about this excellence, because I really need to press this point. We don't talk enough about people over 50. If you're over 50, first off, congratulations for being over 50. Secondly, all you have to do is find a way to be your excellent self over the internet, and you will be rewarded. Period. Now, you don't have to be over the internet, but if you do, you can reach more people. The market doesn't care about your age, sex, creed, or religion. It just doesn't. The market cares about your excellence. My name is Antonio T. Smith Jr. You can plant better. You can dominate. I have felt so much in life. I've been so evil. I've done everything in life to mess it up. And I have. I have completely messed this life up. And then I changed. And then I started applying things that I didn't know, but I always knew. You call it the law of attraction. Or maybe you don't. Or maybe you're religious and maybe you're not. Here is what I know. I know that we all have a karmic debt to pay off. And I have either paid mine off or almost off. And now I dedicate my entire life to you. Please know that as my life is dedicated to you, it means I get beat up a lot. But that's what this is about. It is about people like me putting their gains at risk for you. The crazy thing about life is once we get enough, whatever enough means, if you're a politician, it's enough votes. Someone likes money, enough money, whatever enough is. A pastor, enough members, we tend to protect it. This podcast is not about protection. It is about you. I sincerely believe in you. I know you're going to be it. I know you're going to do it. Whatever that is for you. There are no mistakes. I want you to share this podcast, but not for personal gain. I want you to share it because I am giving you my every being so you can turn around and do the same for others. I give away me, and then you give away you. I lower me so you can stand on my shoulders, and then you return the favor and you lower yourself so someone else will stand on your shoulders, and then voila. No one is lower than the other because we've all lowered ourselves. Finally, the music in this podcast that you're going to hear, I hope it gets stuck in your head. It's actually from my favorite movie, Cloud Atlas. It's a cover. It's not the original version, but it sounds just like it. Cloud Atlas is a great movie by the Wachowskis. My second favorite movie is The Matrix, but that has nothing to do with this right now. It is about repeating the same mistakes. And so I'm hoping subconsciously that as you repeat the same mistakes, Cloud Atlas is mostly about ascending from those mistakes. So I'm hoping the words, the music, the melody, everything helps you ascend to where you're supposed to be, which is where you've always agreed you wanted to be before you got here. I love you. This is the Secret to Success, Law of Attraction. I really, really know that this will be a blessing, a lifesaver to many people. Antonio T. Smith Jr., you can plan better. You can dominate.